Today we are going to discuss about the next concept in this lesson. So before going to start our class, just we will recall what we have learnt in the last class. So in the last class we have discussed about the air. Later we have discussed the properties of air by doing the few activities. So today in our class we are going to discuss about the what are the other properties of air. Okay. So that is next property of air is that is air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. We will discuss this property of air by doing one of the activity. To do this activity, we need two test tubes, two balloons and two containers with hot water and cold water. Yes, now let us do the activity. Yes, to do this activity, we need two test tubes and balloons, hot water and cold water. Okay, inflate the balloons slightly and fix it on the mouth of the bottle. You have to fix on the mouth of the test tube. Here I have taken test tubes. Pour hot water in one mug. I will pour the cold water. Now keep these two balloons in the hot water and cold water. Observe what will happen. Observe the size of the balloon. Here the balloon which is in hot water, the size of the balloon it will be increases. That is green color balloon will be increases. So the balloon which is in cold water, the size of the balloon it will be decreases. So why it will be happen? So now let us discuss. From this activity we have noticed that the balloon which is kept in the cold water it will be deflates. The balloon which is kept in hot water it will be inflates. Here deflates is nothing but the size of the balloon it will be decreases. Inflates is nothing but the size of the balloon it will be increases. So why does the balloon size it will be vary? Now let us discuss. When you are keeping the test tube in a cold water, the air inside the test tube is cool. So as we know, the cool air it will be contracts. So it will be occupying the less space. Because of this reason only the balloon it will be deflate. Deflate is nothing but the size of the balloon decreases because inside the cold water the air it will be contracts. It will be occupying the less space. It makes the balloon to deflate. Why does the balloon it will be inflate when you are keeping in the hot water? Why does the size of the balloon increases when you are keeping the test tube in the hot water? This is because when you are keeping the test tube in the hot water, the air present in the test tube, it will absorb heat energy, it will becomes warm and it will be rises up. So as we know, hot air it will be expands so that it will be rise up. So when it will be rise up, it will be occupying the more space. It makes the balloon to inflate. Okay. So when you are keeping the test tube in hot water, here the air inside the test tube becomes warm. Warm air it will be expands, so it will be rises up, occupies the more space, makes the balloon to inflate. This is the reason. Okay. Here the cold air it will be contracts and the hot air it will be expands. Generally air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Yes, now we will discuss the next property of air, that is hot air is lighter than that of the cold air. We will discuss this property of air by doing one of the activity, that is activity 8.6. To do this activity we need two paper bags and sticks. Look at this picture. Take two paper bags, hang the two bags in an inverted position on two ends of a sticks. Tie a piece of thread in the middle of the sticks. Hold the stick by the thread as in the balance. Put a burning candle below one of the bag. You will notice that the balance is disturbed. Why does the balance it will be disturbed? The bag which is present at the right side it will be rises up. The bag which is present at the left side it will be moves down. It will be sinks down. Why does it will occur? This is because when you are keeping the burning candle at the first bag on right side, the air present at the right side of the bag, it will absorb that heat energy and it will be rises up. As we have discussed, that is warm air, it will rises up, it will be expands, it is lighter, so it will be move upwards. So at the left hand side, the bag it will be sinks down. Why does it will sinks down? Means the air present at the bag on left side is cool. So cool air it is heavier, so it will be sinks down. Okay. From this activity, we came to know that warm air is lighter than the cold air. So that warm air it will be rises up. Next, cold air it is heavier because cool air it will be contracts. So it will be sinks downwards. These are the certain properties of the air. Let us discuss the next concept in this lesson, that is generation of the wind currents. So generation of wind currents it will be occurs mainly by the uneven heating of the earth. Now let us discuss how does uneven heating of the earth it will be occurs. So when sunlight falls on the earth's surface, the air present on the earth it will absorb the sunlight's heat energy and it will be rises up. When sunlight falls on the earth, the air present on the earth's surface it will absorb the heat energy. It will become lighter and it will be rises up. Rises up is nothing but here, as we know, the property of air. So hot air it is lighter, so it will be rises up. When it will be rises up, it is creating a empty space. So in this empty space, the pressure, the air pressure is very less is there, creating a low pressure area. To cover this low pressure area, the air from the high pressure area it will move towards the low pressure area. Look at this picture. When air becomes warm, warm air rises up. To cover this area, air from the high pressure area move towards the low pressure area. So when the air rises up in the upper layer of the atmosphere, the temperature is less. So air gets cooled in the upper layer of the atmosphere and it condenses. Cool air it will be sinks down. Yeah, the cool air it will be sinks downwards. Okay, the air it will be moved from the high pressure area towards the low pressure area. Okay, the air it will be moved from the high pressure region to the low pressure region. Now, here how does the uneven heating of the earth it will be occurs? It will be occurs by the uneven heating of the equator and the pole and uneven heating of the land and the water. Now, let us discuss one by one. Let us discuss the uneven heating between the equator and the pole. So, as we know, when sunlight falls on the earth, here the equator it will receive the maximum heat energy because the sunrise falling on it directly falling on, so that the equator region it will be receiving the maximum amount of the heat energy. So the air present at the equator it will absorb this heat energy and it will be rises up. So why it will be rises up means air it will be expands on heating, so it will be rises up. So when it will be rises up, creating an empty space. So in this empty space, the air pressure it will be low air pressure it will be created. Okay, and also we know that poles of the earth they are receiving the less sunlight because the sunlight falls on the poles in an inclined manner. The sunlight it will be falls on the poles. Here poles they are receiving the less temperature, less sunrise as compared to the equator. So because of the less temperature, here the air pressure at the poles it will be high. The air pressure at the poles it will be high. The hot air at the equator when it will be rises up, creating a low pressure area. To cover this low pressure area, the air from the high pressure region it will move towards the low pressure region. Okay, to cover this low pressure area, the air from the poles it will be rushes towards the equator. It will be rushes towards the low pressure area. From this we came to know that air it will be moved from a high pressure area to the low pressure area. Here the wind currents they are generated because of the uneven heating between the equator and the poles. Here equator it will receive maximum energy, heat energy, but poles they are receiving the less amount of heat energy. So that at the poles high pressure is created. At the equator when the air it will rise up, here it is creating the low pressure. So that to cover this low pressure area, air it will be moves, wind it will be moves from the high pressure area to the low pressure areas. Look at this picture. So in this picture, here when the equator becomes warm, the warm air it will be rises up and creating a low pressure area. To cover the low pressure area, the wind from the poles having the high pressure it will be moved towards the low pressure areas. So this is the one reason for the generation of wind currents. You might have observed in this picture, the direction of wind is not exactly from the north to the south or south to the north. So why does it is not exactly same from north to south, south to north? What is the reason for this? This is because of the diversion of the direction of wind currents. So why does the diversion of wind currents it will be occurs? So it will be occurs because of the rotation of the earth. Earth it will be rotating itself. Because of its rotation, so the diversion of the wind currents it will be occurs. Now we will discuss the next one, that is uneven heating of the land and water. So as we have discussed in the last lesson, that is sea breeze and land breeze. Look at this picture. Land warms up faster than the water and cools as fast as get heated. Land it will be becomes hot faster and it will becomes cool fast. It will heat fast and it will cool fast as compared to the water. And water takes more times to heat and more times to cool. Now let us see how does the uneven heating of the land and the water it will be occurs. So what it will happen during the summer season? See, during the summer season, near the equator the land warms up faster. Most of the time the temperature of the land is higher than that of the water in the ocean. Look at this picture. The air over the land gets heated and rises up, creating a low pressure area. To cover this low pressure area, the winds they will be moved from the high pressure area of the wind, which is present at the ocean. From the ocean side, high pressure wind it will be present. So high pressure winds from the ocean they will be rushes towards the low pressure area of the land. Okay, we have observed that during the summer season what it will happens. So the sunlight falls at the equator directly, so that equator it is having the high temperature as compared to the oceans, right? So the air near the equator, the air at the land it will become warm and it will be rises up. When it will be rises up, here they are creating a low pressure areas. To cover these low pressure areas, the winds from the ocean which is having the high pressure, so these winds they will be rushes towards the land. Means here the winds they will be moved from the high pressure area to the low pressure area to cover this empty space. So these winds which is moving from the oceans, they are carrying the moisture with them. So these winds we are considering as the monsoon winds, because these winds they are carrying the moisture with them. So now let us discuss what it will happen during the winter season. Now let us discuss what it will happen during the winter season. So in a winter season, the direction of winds it will be get reversed. It will flows from the land to the ocean. Look at this picture. The air at the ocean becomes warm and warm air rises up, creating a low pressure area. So the air from the high pressure area, that is from the land, move towards the low pressure area as we observed in the picture. So during the winter season, what it will happens? The air at the ocean becomes warm and warm air it will be rises up, creating the low pressure area. To cover this low pressure area, the winds from the land they will be rushes towards the low pressure area. Here the wind it will be moves from the land to the ocean side. The winds from the ocean they are carrying the water and they will brings the rain. The monsoon winds they are carrying the water and it rains. Now how does the generation of winds it will be occurs? Here generation of winds it will be occur by the uneven heating of the equator and pole and uneven heating of the land and water.